Instagram is shifting again, and most people don't realize how much. That's why we're dedicating an entire episode just to the changes on Instagram.
Our favorite platform.
Oh my gosh. Well, maybe your favorite.
So what used to work 6 to 12 months ago may not even be working for you today.
Yeah, reach, content formats, and discovery are evolving.
If your engagement is down, it's most likely not random.
Yeah, so let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about, which is kind of the wildest update, and it was released in some countries, but not in the US yet, is an Instagram Plus subscription. So they're testing that. And it's going to be like not expensive, but it's going to include a couple of key features. The first one is that you can view stories anonymously, which is very comical because they're positioning it as you can view your competitors. Like, people are not going to use that not for business purposes.
Yes.
Like, come on.
It's definitely going to be taking advantage of, I know that some people have like secret apps to do that. So yeah, I feel like Instagram is taking control and kicking those to the side.
Definitely. Also, you can see rewatch data on your own stories. So that's kind of interesting. Like, I posted a story yesterday on my personal, and it ended up with like 560 views. But when I looked at the data, because social media manager I am, there were over 800 views. So 560 people saw it on the list, but over 800 views. So I was like, who rewatched it? I want to know.
Re-looped it.
And now with this Instagram Plus,
it's fairly
you can actually see.
Fairly similar to the data that we see on TikTok. So this is a great comparison.
Exactly. There's also going to be, if you have Instagram Plus, you can create multiple audience lists. So not just close friends and your regular. So that's really nice, because if you have a subscription model or you have a specific event or you want to create something exclusive, then you can make a separate audience list.
Yeah, and then you can also extend your stories past 24 hours.
That's really big for brands. I don't really see individuals caring to use it as much.
No.
But if there is, like, we do a lot of events for our clients.
For campaigns.
Exactly.
Specific for a couple days. So.
Yeah, so it's nice, especially too, if something's running or working really well, and you have the option to extend it, that engagement's just going to compound versus posting another story again.
A new one, and when it expires. And even when my personal story is great, I'm like, I just want to see it for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So,
and then there's going to be the option to super like a story. So that's going to be almost like, almost like when on TikTok, when you can give like coins and you can give like gamify, people can use super likes, which I can see being the new like slide into the DM.
Yes.
And be like, oh, can you believe it? So-and-so super like quite a story. I mean, like, for brands, I don't see brands really using that, unless the only way it can actually in real time, I'm thinking this through, a brand could super like an influencer story that they want to work with.
Yeah.
Or maybe a brand ambassador that they really want to bring on.
Or vice
that could be
versa.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I see it more being like sliding into the DM.
It's just like an in-between liking a story and sliding between DMs.
Here's where it gets creepier, is that also you're going to be able to see a search viewer list of people who are searching you. So already as is, I'm very sketch with Instagram. So if I want to look up sometimes like somebody or some brand or anything, I try to never use the search button.
Yeah.
So I go roundabout ways.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'll go to someone's following list and find them, or someone's likes and comments and find that person, but I won't search their name or their brand, because I already know the data they're pulling is then they're going to show you more people like that. And it's like, no, I really just wanted to see
I don't really want.
Yeah, like we're good.
Yeah.
But to see that list is going to be wild. And I feel like I just gave people stalking tips 101.
This is basically
this is how you know you work in social media. But also, like, if sometimes you want to just see one thing and you don't want your feed, like, even not too long ago, I wanted a different travel backpack, and I did not want 1,000 travel backpack ads. So it's another way to go around that.
Yeah.
I'm sure Instagram is learning.
I feel like Instagram is becoming more layered in terms of like how we're viewing and these analytics. So this will be very interesting to see. And once people beyond brands start using it, this will definitely be used for a different way, I feel like.
Yes. It's definitely a shift towards, more control and more monetization.
And now basically users and brands are able to pay for this control. So
so coming soon, we shall see. But what we can do now, so that's put on the back burner. And I think right now they're charging like the US equivalent is like $3, and they're charging in like Japan and some other countries. So it's not going to be crazy expensive, but I think a lot of people would want to utilize it.
Yeah.
But what's available now is definitely more control over content after posting. So you can edit thumbnails anytime now, not just for Reels and not just for carousels, because carousels you can reorder, but even on the feed. And I don't know if you've used this before or recently, but you can hold down an image on a feed and then say adjust preview, and you can zoom into something really close, zoom out, like really make it artistic.
It's really great, like once you're going to your profile view and really seeing it, like, because we have platforms like Agora Pulse where you can use grid preview, but it's just never going to really replicate like on my phone size, especially. So it's nice to like make adjustments. And then I just recently used the carousel reorder because I wanted to see on my own.
Yes.
That was nice.
Yeah. And all of those. So whether you're reordering the carousel, arranging, or you can even remove a slide in a carousel, or adjusting the preview, Instagram is promising that it's not affecting engagement.
Yeah.
So people used to think, oh my gosh, I can't edit a post because it's going to affect, like, engagement's going to drop.
It's going to edit my thumbnails.
Nope. They're letting people get a little more artsy with it, a little more fun. I even saw one creator decide to zoom in on her feed on all the post previews. So you have to like click the post to see them. And her feed was like artsy colors instead.
Okay, cool.
I mean, that definitely took a lot of time. But I was like, it just gives people an idea of things to play with.
Yeah.
And I think that means, you know, less pressure to be perfect when posting, knowing that you have the options to tweak and edit later.
Yeah. I mean, because we don't really, like we've always said this before, we're posting for real people, not for, you know, we don't need to be perfectly polished all the time.
Exactly. And I think, you know, that goes not just for brands, but for individuals. I think a lot of individuals get so caught up in like, is a content creator, is this the perfect, you know, photo dump? It doesn't have to be.
I've seen like guides on how to post the most perfect photo dump, and I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Cringe.
It's like
a collection of what you love.
Knowing.
There's
no perfect. Like it's not possible.
No, it should really reflect you. Like I know I'm a big fan of a photo dump. I do them all the time. And if anyone looks at mine, there's a consistent theme in mine where you'll definitely see coffee, you'll definitely see theater, definitely a glass of wine, definitely something with work, but it's yourself. And it's going to have like,
but that's your perfect
exactly
versus, for example, mine. It just varies.
It's gonna have Benny. It's gonna have your dog.
Yes, the beach and sushi.
Exactly. Something else that they're testing is clickable links in captions. It's available for verified users and not everybody yet. But I think that means the link in bio is going to be gone pretty soon because
years and years of that, and clients asking, can we add the link in the caption?
Yes, or exactly. So we'll see how that goes. With the clickable links and the captions, the way they're doing it, it's almost like an ad where it has a little pop-up and you can click it. I don't hate it. I actually don't mind it. We'll see if that takes off. I think some people are
a button. That'd be great.
Like exactly. I think some people are apprehensive that it's going to be so like ad heavy.
Yes.
But I actually don't mind if it's leading to an article, leading to a Substack, like if it's leading to more value, I don't mind. If it's leading to like buy, purchase, then maybe it would get annoying.
I know recently I just made a post for our client and they had a blog, and then there was like a test within that blog to like test your X, and I wasn't able to link it in Instagram. So like in that instance, it would have been nice to be like, oh, like follow here to take this test, because this test is in their bio, it's in their blog. So you have to do a couple double steps. So like to really get users to take this test, that would have been nice.
Yeah. And also right now with the test that they're doing it for some verified users, it's only a few links. Like you're limited to how many you can use and how many posts.
Yeah.
So I think if they keep a limit on it, that would be ideal.
That would be the best way.
So I could see people getting real link happy. So I hear clients being like, let's link here, let's link there.
They want to add a link to every post.
Yep. Reels, you can now tap to pause Reels. So at TikTok, you always could do that. With Reels, if you wanted to stop something, you're like, oh, I can't. I have to watch the whole thing again. Not anymore.
That's great.
So I think they're doing that, and them doing that is going to make people want to make content maybe a little more longer form. I think people were afraid to do longer form content on Reels because people have to watch the whole thing, then go back. So I think it's going to influence how people start to film. So it'll be interesting to watch.
It's also interesting to see like what they're grasping from platforms that are working. Obviously, TikTok strives on just videos.
Yes.
And Reels, I mean, Instagram is a combination of everything. So this is great to see what they're grasping.
Yeah. And speaking of videos, the Edits app from Instagram just came out with a bunch of new tools and features. There's new effects, overlays, new caption styling that we were talking about in another episode. You can have freeze frames, sound effects, even a teleprompter. So if you have a client who's like, I'm really afraid to film myself, or I'm not going to remember, they can use the teleprompter feature on Edits and film themselves and read it at the same time. And it's not downloading 12 different apps. It can all be done in one.
It's also, we recently had a client who requested these Instagram like edits, not really like perfectly polished Canva, CapCut. And so this is a great way to really achieve that even for ourselves.
And because of this, Instagram really is competing with all these other programs because they want you to use their app. But their app is getting really great that I think it's worth it.
At the end of the day, all these apps want you to stay within this platform and not leave. So that is primarily the reason for these updates.
Yeah. So another possible app in development from Instagram that I'm not happy about is a standalone app for disappearing content. Basically, they want to make their own Snapchat. And I actually really hate that. As someone who's 30, I deleted my Snapchat years ago.
Yes.
And first of all, I was addicted to it. I used to have streaks.
I was committed to those streaks. Like my life depended on it.
Yes. And deleted it. And first of all, I feel so free. But also, like, it's just one of those things where it felt like a high school, college app. And it didn't need to grow. Yeah. And I think people get in trouble on that app because they say things that disappear. And it's just not the kind of energy I'm bringing into my life.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that Instagram's doing it, I think maybe that will appeal to a younger crowd or maybe like a nefarious crowd. But I think a lot of people would rather not have the standalone app. No. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, sometimes these features are never used. I remember when Instagram came out with stories years ago and they were kind of copying Snapchat. It took people a long time to really grasp and like that.
And now TikTok stories.
Yes.
I'm like a TikTok story fiend lately because TikTok's rewarding people for using them. So they're all obviously like copying and adapting each other because they want you to stay on their app. But I could do without that disappearing content app from Instagram.
Yes, and I don't really see the need for brands to participate. This is primarily for entertainment.
Yeah, so key takeaways with some of these new features is that Instagram's evolving in two directions. One is public discovery, so the content, the reach, the search, but also private sharing, stories, smaller audiences, kind of getting exclusive. And it's going to be interesting to see how those two kind of like compete with each other on the app.
Also just like we said, paying for your control. So this will be interesting to see how this is utilized.
Yes. So moving on to other features of Instagram, this has kind of been like the through line theme of a lot of our episodes lately. But Instagram, I would say, becoming a search engine, but not anymore. It really is functioning now as a search engine.
If you go to the search bar, you can search anything.
Yes. And people don't realize, and like I'll do it on this podcast, is when you go to your profile, if you actually click on the Instagram button and then hit followers or people you're following, then you only see the people you're following. So when you do that, you realize, wow, half the stuff I'm seeing on my feed are just because it's suggested to me, just because it's the algorithm.
I've noticed huge influx of suggested, and I'm like scrolling and I'm like, who is this person? It just says suggested. And I'm like, I don't want to, nothing to the person, but I don't want to see that.
Exactly. So Instagram really is prioritizing discovery. So we're going to see it kind of continue to grow. Like we said, content surfacing to non-followers. SEO style captions matter. We talked about that in previous episodes. You know, it's not just a cheeky little inside joke.
Cute, big. That's not going to work.
And you want people to find you. Yeah. If you don't want anyone to find you, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're talking to mostly brands, business owners, entrepreneurs. If you're not found, then you're basically not there.
Like I said, I literally said this in the last episode, but I'll say it again, is you just want to cater and prepare your content as if someone is looking at it for the first time.
Yes.
So just think that's always something to think about when you're creating your content. From the graphics to the captions to everything in between.
Yes. And keywords over hashtags. We talked about this. It was funny. It was earlier when we first started the podcast. We predicted that they're going to limit hashtags, and here we are.
Still with
Now there's a limit. Now there's no, not still. Now there's a limit of 5.
yes.
Where when we first started, actually when I started, oh my gosh, this agency 8.5 years ago, which is wild because I'm so young. But when I started it that long ago, you had up to 30 hashtags. And I remember counting the damn hashtags.
Oh my God.
Like, clients wanted to use all 30. And now only 5 is amazing because it's cleaner. And that means it's getting more niche. So it's not just hashtag follow for follow, hashtag love, hashtag goals. Now it's a hashtag that's unique to that brand, unique to that audience, or unique to an event. Like I just recently was on site for a client and we had a hashtag specific to that event. And when people use that hashtag, yes. And when they use it, but not even branded, it was specific for the event, not just the brand. And if they use that specific hashtag, it got shown on the social wall. And the people who use it the most, they got prizes and rewarded, but it also just amplified the event in general. And that was a great use. It wasn't just a throwaway hashtag.
No.
Everyone incorporated it into the captions and it was fun.
We're giving hashtags a purpose again.
Yes.
Versus like those apps.
Exactly. So because you only have up to 5 on Instagram, you want to explain what you're doing in the keywords.
You have to
even
be
us
specific.
Yes, even us being a podcast for social media and marketing, we're putting those keywords in our captions, in our bio, and using it as, a social media podcast or a podcast about, or this episode is about. So when people search, it comes up.
It's not just marketing podcasts. There's depths and layers.
Yes. So really focus on clear first lines. A lot of times people don't realize they put so much in their caption, but you only read the first line or two before you hit the see more.
And that's if you can get viewers to press see more. So you really want to grasp them. Just like a video intro, same with these caption intros with that first line.
Yes. Say what your content's about. It doesn't feel repetitive. Trust me, people know that a caption's a caption and a video or a post is a post. Still put it in there.
Yes.
And then write how your audience searches. So I was talking about that recently where it's almost like Jeopardy. In the sense of instead of, when you answer a question on Jeopardy, you're saying who is, what is. Think of it that way. So when your audience is searching you, it pops up in that sense.
I mean, it seems elementary, but think about who, what, when, where, why, and then how that can apply to your caption, the body.
Yes. So the algorithm is prioritizing behavior. So we talked about all of this, but how are they learning? It's watch time, shares, saves, comments, replays.
And looking at how many you're getting of each ones and how those can be and are converting.
Yeah. And less important is likes and follower count. I mean, if you follow Gary Vee, he basically says F a follower count because small creators can be hitting it big just because their content's resonating.
And I mean, as we all know this, a lot of them, and hopefully they're not anymore, but can be bot followers. So
exactly.
Nothing.
Yes. And what works is saveable content, shareable content, conversation-driven posts, getting people to react. I mean, there's some parts of conversation-driven posts that are a little scammy. I've seen on Instagram Reels lately where they're doing things like spelt wrong or they're saying things controversial to get people to comment.
Yes.
But besides that, you can still have a nice conversation there.
Yes. I mean, you can always, I know I see this a lot on TikTok, is people will stitch these posts. So that is a great way to really get your exposure out there.
Yeah, without having to do much creative work. You're just giving your thoughts, but you're not having to create a video.
Right.
So for that takeaway there, it's engagement quality over quantity.
I mean, we say this all the time. Can you give us 30 good videos a month or should we focus on 10?
Exactly. So Reels and content formats, those are evolving. So Reels are still driving reach. We've seen the Instagram app change a bajillion times, but now there's a whole feature on the bottom of just Reels. So whether you like them or not, you're stuck watching them.
And they're there.
Yes. And we always talk about less polished, more native content is performing better.
Think less scripted, less overly production, less overly edited. Dropping a simple talking head over with these AI captions can really do it for you more than, maybe what you're paying a content video creator.
Exactly.
A big chunk for.
And hooks matter more than editing. If I were to say, today in this video, I'm going to tell you about 3 new Instagram tools changing. Boring. Instead of saying, you're using Instagram wrong because there's 3 tools that you're not taking advantage of. You're going to be like, wait, how am I using it wrong?
What did I do?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can use a stronger hook than that. and really get people in that first 1 to 2 seconds.
Also performing our carousels, really education heavy.
Yes. People think like, oh, they're dead. No, we still see them as one of the top performers.
Yep. And we like to include them as much as we can, but also making sure we're providing valuable information within these carousels.
Yes.
So instead of saying how you're using Instagram wrong, go into these 3 really
exactly
what you can do and how.
And what's funny is people get so caught up now in reels and carousels, they forget a static post still can have stopping power if it has strong messaging, if it's a strong image. Like it has to still, abide by attention grabbing rules, but don't be afraid to still use them.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite thing to remember is Instagram is still a visual app. So just a good, strong, high quality, not even high quality, just good photo angles, whatever you use to make this a good photo, can't stop the scroll.
Yes. And it's not about more content. It's about better content, which kind of leads us into our next section, talking about how content strategy is shifting as the Instagram app is shifting. It's more intentional versus frequent.
Yes. I mean, that's like what we said before, quality over quantity, and then also clarity and value over trends. This is a huge one.
Yeah, especially for these brands who we work with, where about time they want to hop on a trend, it's probably gone, or there's probably videos on that trend that are not so great that you don't really be associated with.
Yeah.
So stick with your clarity and your value. Be true to you, and you'll go further.
Maybe it's just not a trend that you should be a part of, or the others that you're seeing also shouldn't be a part of.
And ask yourself before you're posting, who is this for? Why does it matter? Would someone save or share this? Likely, if we're asking all 3 of those questions and you can't answer all 3, it's probably a skip.
It's probably a no. And let's focus that time on something else.
Yeah. And we're still seeing what's working. It's educational, relatable, behind the scenes, opinion-based content.
Yes. I mean, sharing your real life experience and it's just sharing yourself authentically will always share more.
Yeah. And people forget a lot of behind the scenes. Like I work with a lot of client events, and a lot of times they want to put the polished content up, but I'm like, let's get a reel of it being built.
Yeah.
Let's get like a time-lapse video of a stage coming together.
The time-lapse of the stage coming together. Or I had one construction client where we did literally a time-lapse of a construction.
Yeah,
and that was the highest performing video. So
strategy matters more than volume. We've said that so many times, but it's nice to hear that Instagram is also repeating that, because I think sometimes people say like, well, my sister's brother's niece's nephew says that you should post on Instagram, 6 times a day. And it's like, pause.
Maybe that worked 3 years ago, but it's not working today and it most likely won't.
Yeah. So we're going to give 2 reasons of what this basically means for brands, for creators, and both. Big takeaways here. For businesses, focus on discoverability and optimize for search.
For creators, build trust and niche authority, lean into personality.
Yes. And for both, consistency, but also have direction.
Yes.
And we say that consistency a lot. And I even saw a quote this morning where it was like, people start to trust what they know is there. And that's an obvious.
And they're relying on you.
But it's true.
Yes.
And I think people think like, oh, I'm going to spend all this time on this great big video and then I'll post again in 2 months when I do another one. But it's sometimes these smaller creators who are showing up daily. I mean, even like Alex Earle got literally her fame from doing 2 to 3 videos a day, and people expected it.
Daily get ready with me.
That's it.
She did literally a skincare launch and she still did a get ready with me.
Exactly. It's consistent. Yes. It's reliable. People knew like, oh, if I'm having a bad day, I'll go look at her TikTok because there's going to be 3 videos added.
I'll know that it'll be on my feed.
Yeah. So quick wins you can implement now. If you're like, okay, Kassie and Sofia, that's great, but what does this mean for me? Improve your caption clarity and keywords.
So clarity converts while confusion will make you scroll and skip over.
Strengthen those hooks. Yes. A lot of times we think our hooks are great. Honestly, use ChatGPT. People forget about it.
Find
or
short and punchy.
Yes.
Hooks, intro lines. Will this fit on the first line of my Instagram caption?
Yes.
How much will people see?
Or create your own, use your brain power, then paste it into ChatGPT and say, how can this be stronger?
Yeah.
How can this be better? And it's still you. It's still not AI slop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't start it solely just from AI because then it will sound robotic. You have to give it a little bit of you.
Exactly. And that's why I say that. And then create more saveable, shareable content. Think of how you can help someone who's going to send this to their mom, their best friend.
tips that they may need for later and actually can use and find.
Yeah, simplify the editing style. Does not need to be all crazy. We don't need crazy fade in, fade outs. Keep it simple and post it. It's that acronym, keep it simple, stupid.
Yes.
Literally, it works here.
Double down on what's working.
Yeah, I think people forget, like, oh, this is working, so now let's do this, let's do that. Stop jumping all around and really, like you said, double down. If it's working, do more of it.
Do it again. See what works.
So all in all, Instagram is evolving fast. I think it's something that we didn't realize what happened in 2026. I think a lot of us thought Instagram's Instagram. It's not going to change much, but they keep us on our toes.
That's not true. Like I said, what was working for you 12 months ago may not be working for you now, and that's crucial.
Yeah.
These new features equal more control and customization.
And private sharing is growing, and discovery and behavior is also growing. So it's going to be interesting to see that.
They also drive growth.
Yeah. And the people paying attention to these changes early will have the biggest advantage. We say that all the time. If you're jumping on it late, you're too late.
Yeah.
Start yesterday.
The brands that wins aren't the ones that are posting the most. It's the ones that are adapting the fastest.
Couldn't agree more.